YouTube, Romopar here. There's been a bit of a debate going on between atheists and Gnostics that's hitting my attention, both on Suicide Girls and recently another YouTuber's video. And I was hoping maybe I could kind of add in my 2 cents and sort of help sort of clear things up a little bit. Hopefully I'm not actually just muddying the waters even more. But specifically I want to deal with the atheist versus agnostic titles. Now, first of all, these are just labels. And I have kind of an issue with labels because people tend to attach labels to themselves. And they have their own definition for the label, and when somebody else uses the same label but has a different definition, well, conflicts tend to arise. And my only point about this is, okay, labels are very personal things, so we really should not be arguing about what it means. You know, I should not be telling you what atheist means to you. You should not be telling me what agnostic means to me. You know, I mean, it's a nonsensical debate, and really it kind of pisses me off. I mean, stop and think about it. You tell a Christian you're an atheist, and they say, "Oh, well, you really believe in God, you just won't admit it." Well, how is that any different from you telling an agnostic, "Oh, well, you're really an atheist, you just won't admit it"? I mean, think about it; they're the same, and that's why that whole debate thing kind of pisses me off. So, when I'm talking about the definitions here, I tend to talk about the definitions as they're personally applied by the people that are using them. And I really want to stick to that, because if someone tells you they're an agnostic, and they tell you why, unless they say, "Oh, I'm an agnostic, but I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ," okay, well you might have an argument there. But for the most part, just let it go. I mean, that's really a minor issue in the end of it. So, now, what is it to be an atheist? Well, as I mentioned in my last video, atheists simply reject the claim that there's a God. They also, by and large, tend to reject the possibility that there's God. Agnostics, on the other hand, while they may reject the definition of God as prescribed by religion, they don't reject the possibility that God may exist. Some agnostics, such as myself, may even feel the need to actually go out and try to find that God and look for that God. And see, maybe if we can try and figure out what it is we're really talking about. But we're also open to the idea that what we find is probably not what we're going to be expecting to find. We may find that God covers a multiple spectrum. It may not be an individual or consciousness of any kind. There's so many things that God could be, and we're open to all of those possibilities. And this is why agnostics tend to reject religion, because agnostics, like atheists, they have a very scientific mind. And atheists, if you can provide sound scientific evidence for the existence of a God, they're going to accept it. And agnostics are the same way. Religious people, however, are not. And that's what pisses us off. But that's a debate for another topic. So, agnostics and atheists, while they are very similar, they do have some pretty stark differences. And while I can understand where the conflict would be created, just stop and think about the conflict that is being created. You're arguing about what we don't know. If we can't know it, then it doesn't exist. If we don't know it, maybe we just haven't properly defined it yet. And really, there's no reason you can't be an agnostic atheist or an atheist agnostic, however you want to say it. I tend to be more, if you really, really, really want to get technical, I tend to be more of an atheist agnostic. I think God is simply a philosophical concept. It's a wonderful thing to explore. But in the end, you're talking about Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. You're talking about things that just don't exist. They don't have physical bodies or concepts in our minds or characters. And while they can be important to us and we can learn things from them, it's not something to base your life around. So really, I guess the whole point of this video that I really wanted to talk to you guys is if someone has a label and it just happens to have the same label that you ascribe to yourself, even though they may define it differently, don't get a bug up your ass, because it's, in the end, how important is it? And, how important is it that their definition of your label, even though it's not really your label, you guys are using the same label, but how important is it that their definition differs from yours? It's not, and that's really going to get in the way of exploring a lot of new ideas. I will happily talk with theists. I've got a couple of neighbors who are theists, and we don't talk about God all that much. I think they're afraid to. I'm not, but we don't talk about God all that much, but we do talk about it from time to time, and some very enriching conversations have come up with. And so, I mean, when you keep the dialogues open, and you don't trip over these labels, and you don't try to enforce definitions of certain things on one another, then you can actually really learn a lot from each other. And I think that's truly what it means to be an open mind. So, anyway, that's just my view on things. Romopar, signing off.